Gentani, and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute podcast. My name is Alex Robinson.
My name is Andy Robinson.
And together we are the Godfather Minute Brothers, here to talk about minute number 136. So what's up? What's the Italian for that there?
Alex, e minuto.
E minuto.
Numero.
How
do you say 100?
Centani.
Oh, close. Cento. 36.
36?
36.
36.
That's 36. 136.
What's the first word?
Cento,
not centani.
Yeah.
That means 100 years.
Yeah.
136. Say.
Yeah.
So minute 136, that means in English. Minute 136, we have Mikey and Kay, their long-awaited reunion. Mikey tells Kay that Pop's way of doing things is over.
Mm-hmm.
And that in 5 years, the Corleone family will be completely legitimate.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Kay is also skeptical, but Mikey insists they should get married and start a family.
Yeah. Alex, I have to say that if any of the minutes in this movie had the background 70s wah-wah music, it would be this one.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Oh, Mikey's putting the moves on Kay.
Oh,
you know, like love, like sexy love 70s music.
Oh yeah, so like saxophone.
Yeah,
got it. Okay,
I see. No, more like 70s, like not romantic, not like Sade.
No, not like Sade. I'm thinking like Baker Street. I feel like Mikey is very creepy in this scene, and I don't know if you're supposed to be or not. Like Al Pacino's acting style is all like, "I love you, Kay."
Yeah,
it's so like monotone in this, almost like in a creepy way.
Well, it comes across as someone who's very smart and controlling, but trying to be romantic and sweet. So it's kind of a blending of those two, which is really odd. Yeah. And I noticed this. How many times in just this 1 minute, Alex, does Mikey say her name?
Oh boy,
I counted
7.
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah, well, you know where you must have learned that.
How to win friends and influence people. And I think he's really turning it on here. He's hitting he's touching all the bases. He's talking about marriage, children, all the things maybe a woman in her 20s wants to hear, especially in the 40s and 50s.
It's so weird to think of them as being in their 20s.
Yeah.
I guess because we've known Al Pacino and Diane Keaton like forever, that it seems weird to think like of them as being younger than us.
Yeah.
And weirdly, I feel that way about the Beatles too. Like the Beatles will always be older than,
yeah.
Even though they're in their 20s when they're on the records, they'll still be older than us.
Yeah.
So
isn't that a funny phenomenon?
Yeah.
So I want to tell the story. I was in a band I used to play in. Our whole band lived together. And
what was the band?
The band was called The Fountains. You can still get our stuff out there. I think we're all on iTunes. Great band. Identical twin lead singers, great songwriters. Yeah, and so we were living together in Athens, Georgia. That's where we were based. And we all had side jobs to kind of make ends meet.
Side hustles.
And one of the guys, as a side job, got a job, I think, as a salesman. I don't recall what he was selling, but he was going door to door. And on his first day, he went to a training, and he came back to the house, and I asked him, how did the training go? He said, pretty good. He said, I learned a lot. He said, I learned that you want to say the person's name as much as possible. He said, if possible, every 7th word should be the person's name.
7th word?
Because Alex, when you hear your name, Alex, you can't disengage, Alex. For our listeners, Alex was nodding off and looking away. And every time I said his name, he snapped to attention.
Yeah, I started paying attention to it.
So I feel like Mikey's using that strategy.
Wow, maybe that is why it seems creepy. Then the fact that he's using.
Yeah.
Do you think? Where do you think? Do you think? Clemenza's the one who gave him all this, because Clemenza's good at giving out like romantic. Well, I guess Mrs. Clemenza's good at.
Yeah, she's the one.
at coming up with good dialogue for people to say. So,
Mikey, don't forget the cannoli, and don't forget to say her name every seventh word.
don't forget to mention you want to have children.
Yeah, they all want to have children.
And make sure you tell your lover before the end of the month.
Nice. So I feel like he is pulling out all the stops. He's laying it on thick.
I agree.
In that creepy sociopath kind of way.
Yeah.
In that real flat way.
Yeah. It definitely does not. It doesn't seem like someone who's being. But Mikey was never really, even in the early scenes, it wasn't like he was ever seemed like the most like effusive person emotionally. You know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you this would be interesting to look back at all his dialogue.
Yeah.
And probably the majority of the transcription would be him plotting to kill people.
It's true. Yeah.
And organizing crime.
Yeah. So Mikey makes the assertion, you seem very skeptical about it, that the Corleone family is going to be completely legitimate in 5 years.
I don't know. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Clearly, he doesn't accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible, and if anyone can do it, it could be the Corleones because they've got the political
And the muscle.
protection. Yeah, I mean, you want to get out of the muscle business.
Yeah.
You want to stay in with the political protection. That's
Yeah,
where
that's
the real
true.
power
Yeah.
is.
I don't know. It seems insanely ambitious to me
Yeah.
to think that he could pull it off in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, look how long Brexit took to do. It was like 2 years just that. And that was
Yeah.
like, they had like people working around. Tom Hagen's going to be the one organizing how they go completely legitimate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Tom is out because clearly Pop's had him for all this time. And he's like, I need George Hamilton so that we can be completely legitimate.
Are you suggesting Tom Hagen was dragging his feet on this plan to go
He's not a wartime concierge.
Yeah. But is he not a
He's out.
legitimate conciliary?
Would
Would he have made it as a legitimate
lawyer?
advisor to the Corleone family if they were completely legitimate?
No.
Oh, so you think after 5 years he'd have to go begging for a job with the Tatalias with his resume?
Well, I mean, maybe he could get a job as like a button man or something, but like
Tom Hagen?
yeah, Tom Hagen. Just because like he's specifically designed for late period mafia consigliere shit.
wow.
Like you need a different expert for different stages.
For different phases of your
Yeah. So
on
like
your
Pop had
journey.
Jenko because Jenko was a startup guy.
Yeah.
And
And then they got Hagen.
yeah, Hagen's a
who is-
caretaker basically.
Yeah.
He's
So
acting consigliere until they get the next step.
that's a really interesting concept that their niche, their specialties in certain stages of a crime family's development. So Hagen is the closer. He's the one that ultimately shepherds them out of the world of organized crime. But after that, he's out.
No, but I think he's like the middle guy.
Okay.
He's like he's not a Mariano Rivera closer guy. He's a middle reliever.
Oh, okay.
The guy who brings them into legitimacy is the closer. So basically, it's Tom's job to make it as easy as possible for the closer. You don't want to set up the closer with a bad hand. So that's what,
Do you think
mixed metaphors there?
Oh, that's great. And it's interesting. I just saw a little bit of Godfather 2 the other day, and I saw the scene where they're talking about Hyman Roth's coming back, and he's going to land in Miami, and Hagen's pressing back, saying it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. What do you have to wipe out all your enemies? What do you have to wipe them all out? Your competition?
Tom, not all of them.
He said, not all of them. Just my enemies.
Oh yeah.
That's a great line.
Tom is consistent at least that he never wants to assassinate anyone from who's like any one of their opponents. He's always in favor of letting them live because it's too complicated. Come on, see,
But he always gets convinced.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and that's why he's a weak consigliere.
Do you think all the other crime bosses have these temporary consigliere?
If they're smart.
So do they share consigliere? So Tom will eventually move on to the Rosado brothers family because he will, by the time Mikey doesn't need him anymore, he'll go and find a crime family that's up and coming.
Well, or I mean, there's always he could have worked with like Joey Zaza. There's always going to be that that like underclass.
Yeah.
So like I guess once it's basically he should be like the drill sergeant in those war movies where he's the one who's in charge of getting you ready, and then he sends you off to fight. He doesn't go out and fight with you. He's like, all right, go ahead. You know everything you have to do, so go ahead and go out there. You know, like that.
It'd be great if he were doing Zaza's consigliere.
Oh, he'd be
Mr.
terrible.
Tom Hagen, I need someone who's going to make me look good in the press. We've got newspapermen on the payroll, Joey Zaza. Don't worry about it.
Newspapermen? Tom, it's 2020. No one reads newspapers. We need someone on Twitter.
Which is great because when Godfather 3 was made, Twitter didn't exist. So you were projecting Joey Zaza into modern times.
Well, and plus it's not even it's not set in the year they filmed it, right?
That's right.
It's
yeah.
it's set in like the 80s
the
or
80s,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's so it'd be even much more out of sync.
I told you to invest in that young kid Michael Jackson. You see now his albums are selling millions.
So
cuz it's a Zaza. That's my Thriller.
What does Mikey see in Kay?
I can tell you from the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because based on the fact that he was going out, he married Apollonia.
Oh yeah.
And then you'd think he would be like, okay, well that's, but so it's interesting that he goes back to Kay.
You want to take a guess?
Well, my guess is that she's kind of like symbolic of him lying to himself about them being legitimate. Like as long as Kay's there, he can convince himself, well, Kay wouldn't marry a criminal. Like she must have faith in me and know that I'm going to turn this thing around. See, like the young Mikey would. Yeah. That's like his conscience, sort of. Like if I have her, it means that's that connection I have with old Mikey in the past. It's not his face, not his family.
I love that interpretation. Puzo doesn't write that.
It's totally wrong.
No, Puzo doesn't write that, but I don't think that's something a good author would write. I think that's something.
Oh yeah,
a reader would come to on their own.
Hopefully piece together.
Yeah, no, that's great. Because if an author states that, you're kind of giving away
a little heavy-handed. Yeah,
it's heavy-handed. Yeah. So I got it right here, Alex. Puzo writes, page 361. So this is Mikey talking to Kay. If everything goes right, by the way, his jaw is still all messed up.
Yeah, and his nose is still
running. And he even makes a joke about it because his nose is running. He keeps having to wipe it. And he said, that's another reason not to marry me because I'm always going to be wiping my nose.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, it's a long chapter. Talking.
Dr. Taza, he was in Italy for 2 years and his nose is still more broken than ever. It's all pussy and infected. Dr. Taza says I'll be cured in 2 years.
The real tough thing is I have to go back to see Dr. Taza every week to get this looked at. He's the only one on my health network.
I want deductible.
Yeah, a whole lot of deductibles. Puzo writes, so this is Mikey. If everything goes right, the Corleone family will be completely legitimate in about 5 years.
In about 5 years.
Yeah.
Book Mikey's a little less cocky. In 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
You'll be 50% legitimate.
Hagen counseled him before. Mikey, if you say about, the courts will give you a lot of leeway there. About can up to quadruple the amount of time. So you're talking 5 to 20. If you get judged.
5 to 20. Don't say that.
And if you get one of our judges on the payroll, they'll give you a bonus of an additional 10 years.
That's what they call the bonus era.
Bonus era. Let's see. Be completely legitimate in about 5 years. This is still Mikey. Some very tricky things have to be done to make that possible. That's when you may become a wealthy widow. Now, what do I want you for? Well, because I want you and I want a family. I want kids. It's time. And I don't want those kids to be influenced by me the way I was influenced by my father.
So there's some of that. He does want to wasp them up.
Totally. I want them to be influenced by you. I want them to grow up to be all-American kids. Real all-American. The whole works. Maybe they or their grandchildren will go into politics. Mikey grinned. Maybe one of them will be president of the United States.
Or Governor Corleone.
Yeah, Governor Corleone.
Oh, Michael, there isn't enough time.
And then he goes on. He says, this is interesting. But I'll settle for my kids being doctors or musicians or teachers. They'll never be in the family business. Isn't that interesting? Doctors, musicians, or teachers.
That's also interesting because in GF3, as we'll see, his son wants to become an opera singer.
Yeah.
And old Mikey does not want him to do it. So middle-aged, 20-something Mikey is a bit, well, he's all bohemian. He's like, hey, man, maybe you'll be a musician or a poet or something.
Total hippie, bohemian, Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
Man, we got to lay down our guns and our cannoli.
Hey, man, it's not personal. It's just business. Hey, man, it's just business.
That's great. I have a couple other things in the book.
Sure, what else you got for me?
Let's see. Puzo writes, oh, this is interesting. So Kay went on.
Kegels.
If we get married, what kind of a life am I supposed to lead? Like your mother, like an Italian housewife with just the kids and home to take care of? And what about if something happened? I suppose you would wind up in jail someday. No, that's not possible, Mikey said. Killed, yes. Jail, no.
He's honest, at least.
Kay laughed at this confidence. Funny, right?
Yeah.
Another little bit here, Alex. Puzo writes, Kay was silent for a long time. Why do you want me to marry you after never calling me all these months? Am I so good in bed?
Whoa, yeah.
Woo! Here comes classic Puzo, Alex. Puzo writes, Michael nodded gravely. Gravely.
You're terrible in bed.
Sure, he said, but I'm getting it for nothing, so why should I marry you for that? Whoa!
Oh, snap.
Whoa! How do you say oh, snap in 1948?
Hot dog.
Look, I don't want an answer now. We're going to keep seeing each other. You can talk it over with your parents.
Wait, he says we're going to keep seeing. Listen, you don't have to answer right now. We're going to keep seeing each other.
I think he's that's his way of saying.
I booked the church for the...
I booked the church exactly 5 years from today when we're legitimate. Our family business is legitimate.
Completely legitimate.
I hear your father is a real tough guy in his own way. Listen to his advice. And so anyway, it goes on. We keep talking. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how do we know how they felt? We don't see the wedding of Mikey and Kay. We don't see the Kegel wedding. I wonder how the Corleones felt about it. If well,
we know Mama liked her. That's why she invited her.
At least in the book, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not just Mikey wants to integrate the family into mainstream American life.
So you think Don approves?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's always a. Someone told me it's very difficult psychologically for immigrant kids to become, if their parents are like poor immigrants.
Yeah,
it's sometimes hard for them to become super successful because it means like they basically have to leave their hillbilly parents behind. You know what I mean? They're too unworldly to know what's It's interesting though that if the Don is like, well, this is for the good of the family to get some little bit of white bread mixed into this food.
Yeah. Give her a living, but nothing too close. Nothing too like Carlo.
Yeah. So I guess Kay was a teacher, but we don't think she taught once
No.
It doesn't. They can't imagine a mafia wife being allowed to have a job.
No. And Mikey, there's a lot more in this section with Puzo. He writes about how Mikey's saying, "Oh, you'll move into one of the houses in the mall. We'll have our own house, our own life there, but you will need to be there because it won't be safe for you to be
right." Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
Wow, what a gig, Alex! If you were, K, but the reverse, would you
reverse K?
If reverse K.
Strike out.
would you take the deal?
I think I would.
Not knowing what happens to GF2 and GF3.
I think I would. If I liked the person and everything, I imagine I would think it would be exciting to be and I guess if you're the spouse of the person, you can kind of trick yourself into thinking like, oh, it's probably not so bad. So they rough a couple of thugs up, as opposed to like hurting innocent people or, so.
One of Kay's gripes in this section is that she says, "Oh, Mikey, I can't do this because you don't trust me enough to tell me about your business." Because she's asking him, "Oh, what's been happening?" And he's just not telling her very much. Yeah. She said, I can't do that. He said, "No, you can. My mother and father have that relationship, and it works really well." Mm-hmm. So that's a sticking point for her. Yeah. So would you be able to handle that, Alex?
Yeah, I would not want to know.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Sort of for all I know, my wife is a mafia crime person. That's her business, though. I know not to ask.
So I have one more thing.
Men can afford to be careless.
Cartoonist men can afford to be careless.
Cartoonists and men aren't really right. Boys, maybe. Men seems a little extreme.
Cartoonists doing their squiggles all day. They can afford to be careless.
Working on those comic strips. That's another word for comic strips.
Cartoons.
Cartoon pages.
Graphic novels.
Graphic novels. He's smarter than me. He can read graphic novels.
Last thing from Puzo. Puzo writes, Kay patted the bed. Remember, in the book, they're in an apartment right now.
Patted the bed or padded?
I think a little both. "I don't know about marrying, but I've gone without a man for 2 years, and I'm not letting you off so easy now. Come on in here."
Whoa, thanks, Mario Puzo.
Yeah. When they were in bed together, the light out, she whispered to him, "Do you believe me about not having a man since you left?" "I believe you," Michael said. "Did you?" she whispered in a softer voice. "Yes," Michael said. He felt her stiffen a little. "But not in the last 6 months." It was true. Kay was the first woman he had made love to since the death of Apollonia.
I thought he was going to say, she's like, "Would you believe that I haven't been with any men since you've been gone?" And she's like, "What about you?" He's like, "Yes, I've been with 4 men since you." That's what I thought he was going to say. "Yes, I've been with 2. I've been with a man also."
What made you think he was going to say that?
Because I was surprised. I was surprised he admitted that about Apollonia.
Or I don't think he told her.
No, but he did admit that he had that he'd been with other women.
Yeah.
So I was surprised about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at least we see so far, Mikey is trying to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
somewhat. I mean, he didn't tell her he was married. I don't think he tells her that he was married. We still don't know that.
It's a live omission.
Yeah.
That's why you should always, if you're dating someone, you should specifically ask, "Have you ever been married before?" Because if you don't ask, they might be like, "Well, I never lied to you. You just never asked me about it. It just
crazy.
Never came up." So
wow. What would you do if you were dating someone for a while? What would you do if you got married and you found out that someone was married? Your wife were married before, but never told you.
Was she divorced, or is she committing bigamy?
Both scenarios.
I guess in both where I actually got married to the person, I guess I would be pretty shocked that it never came up before.
Yeah. But you wouldn't be upset that they still had a husband, because remember, you can never lose your family.
Wait, so in the bigamy scenario, that one is less good. You know what I mean? You can almost, depending on the circumstances, the other one, it's more like, "Oh, I was young. It was a stupid thing or whatever." I don't even think of it as really a But if you're still married, I guess you could say, "Well, I was young and stupid and I just never got divorced." But it seems like that should have come up before we actually got married.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think Mikey doesn't tell Kay about Apollonia because it's just, I was married, but they killed her. It's just too.
Oh,
that
like, it would be a bad. It would be a bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Or is it because he was married and he had moved on?
Yeah.
Or maybe a little of both.
I think it's more just kind of like he just doesn't want to. It's like mine is, he just doesn't want to get into it, and although you're right, it never occurred to me that he didn't want to tell her because it would imply that there was some risk to her as well.
Yeah.
So, good point.
So, note to self: always ask a potential partner, "Are you married or have you been married to someone? And did your previous partner die in a car bombing?
What was the circumstance of your previous person's death? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to just say in a car bomb. Has they been in a car bomb? They're saying no, and like they were
True.
strangled to death with a piano wire.
Yeah. And as we learned in the meeting with the 5 family scene, there could you be hanged in their jail cell, hit by a
Struck
train,
by lightning.
struck by lightning,
Fall down the stairs.
Yeah. So, Alex, in this minute,
Yes,
Michael Corleone tells Kay, says, "My father's way of doing business
it's over.
is over. It's finished."
Mm-hmm. Even he knows that.
Yeah, what's the difference between those two?
Over and finished.
It's over. It's finished.
I think he's just trying to impress her because she's an English teacher, so he's trying to be like, it's over, finished, complete, no longer in operation.
Mikey, I don't understand.
See also, discontinued, disallowed, disbarred. Yeah, I think he's just trying to show. He's also probably trying to get back familiar with speaking English again. Maybe that's why he didn't talk to her for 6 months, because he came back and he was all speaking. No one could understand what he was saying because he was all speaking fluent Sicilian.
The only words he remembered were the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Thursday.
So let's rate this sucker.
I got one more question for you.
Okay.
Mikey also tells Kay in this minute. He says, "Trust me." Toward the end of the minute, he's like, "Trust me." Do you trust people when they say that?
It's very difficult.
It's hard to pull that off, isn't it?
Yeah. Just because it automatically seems to imply that it does the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. It automatically implies that there's some reason you shouldn't trust them.
Yeah.
So what if I said trust me? Would that be enough? Would that be enough for you to vouch?
It depends on the context.
If I said, listen, go open that cage over there, just trust me.
What's in the cage?
Just trust
I don't
me.
know.
Don't worry about it. It's empty. It'll be empty soon.
It'll be empty soon.
It's a tiger in it now, but only for a couple of minutes.
I would trust you.
Okay.
I would trust you. I'm telling you that.
Okay.
But
My
if you
brother.
said something like, "Hey, eat this," I said, "What's in it?" You said, "Just trust me, eat it."
Really?
I don't know. I'd think twice.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because you think because you think that I'm trying to put. Is this about that orange juice thing from when you were a kid? And I tricked you into drinking a glass of soap.
The last thing I remember, the only thing I remember about that incident before I passed out was you saying, "Trust me," and you holding me down and pouring that into my mouth. Trust me.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you had to be like 5. It was like the dumbest. It was. I thought I was so clever because I put soap, like dish soap, into a cup, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell Andrew to drink this because it's orange juice." And I think I was just like, "Look, I pulled you some orange juice," and you were like, "Oh, thanks." Glug 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 glug. And then I was like, "It's soap," and you're like, "Whoa!" Bubbles, suds are coming out of your mouth.
Oh, the bubbles start coming out. I remember drinking, and I still remember that cup.
Do you really?
It was that green
Oh my God, I was just gonna say that
4-sided
green.
cup,
Yeah,
those
wow.
70s cups. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
No, I can still taste the palm olive. You're soaking in it. Anyway, that's all I got. You ready to rate it?
I'm ready to rate it.
Whoa. I'm thinking of the dialogue.
Whoa.
He does say, "Trust me." I'm grasping here.
Yeah, we get a little bit of emotion from Kay. Oh, Mike, you didn't call me.
We do get a sense of the 5-year vision. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm ready.
1, 2. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Same page. Same page, dude.
Yeah. I thought last week's episode with Kay was a stronger one, and this one I think is weaker.
Yeah.
I think it's just Al Pacino's acting in it is weird, and like
Yeah.
you know,
You don't see the Rocco slow roll, the Rocco roll, car.
No, what do we come up to?
The Rocco roll.
No, but we came up with a
The drive behind.
The drive by. Yeah. So no, this minute's kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the legitimate thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is this the only time we hear it, or does he say that before?
Well, we hear it later in Godfather 2.
In GF2, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
where
right,
he says pretty much the same thing. She's, Michael, you said that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
stick around for the bonus content.
Got some bonus content. Was there something?
Check us out on YouTube.
Yes, check us out on YouTube.
All our podcast episodes are archived on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to see, you can always go to Fredo Corleone's Mickey Mouse Nightclub over in the Facebook.
So until next time.
In 5 years, the Corleone family will be completely legitimate. Trust me.